I've been thinking about how during the 60s in the US there was the free love movement, which of course wasn't free and wasn't love. It actually led to slavery to sin in a sense. Free sex, free love really just brought about the beginnings of the destruction of the cornerstone of Western civilization, which has always been the family. And yet, in a sense, this sexual revolution, which was really a sexual devolution, was just an open door to homosexuality. And of course, homosexuality is an open door to the transgender and transsexual movement, which itself is an open door to the post-gender movement, which will be the ultimate deconstruction of God's image as it is reflected in humanity. And yet, along the way, we are already seeing all kinds of deviations, all kinds of things that are nowadays just being considered options. And so a discussion that's been going on in various venues online is whether bestiality and pedophilia will be the next big issues that'll be turned into civil rights. Well, it occurred to me that I could unfortunately completely see this happening. And all it would really take is for just a little further erosion of the biblical ethic within our culture. Now, the ultimate issue, for whatever reason, has come down to being the issue of consent. Okay, so that is the argument you'll get against bestiality and pedophilia nowadays, even from the ultra-liberal, is that an animal and a child could not consent. Well, I mean, why is this even an issue, the issue of consent? After all, we force animals to do all sorts of things for us. And not just working animals, but, forcing your dog to not go potty on the couch, whatever it might be. To a certain extent, we force our animals to do certain things. We train them. And similarly for our children. I mean, for at least the first decade of their life, if not all the way up through the teen years. And in fact, anytime they're under our roof, we definitely force them to do various sorts of things. So I could totally see the argument going that, well, look, we already forced them to do all sorts of things as it is. Now, why is sexuality any different? And now the reply would be that, I don't know much about the animal response to it, but children end up with severe emotional problems in their adulthood. In other words, going through that sexual experience early in life leads to lifelong emotional issues, psychological issues, and might as well throw in spiritual issues as well. But the argument could be that is only because we have a taboo against pedophilia, and it was done in a manner that was abusive or secretive, so that it was done as though it was a thing that was wrong and you should tell no one about it, and this and that and the other, right? So that if we further push away from our society the biblical ethic, then what could result is that the taboo will be removed. So that without the taboo in place, then sexual activity between adults and children could be just as beautiful, or so we will be told, as any other relationship. I mean, that's all it takes, right? Because a person can rationalize whatever they want within the parameters of their worldview. So that if you keep pushing biblical ethics out of our society, then something will fill in the gap, right? Like G.K. Chesterton said long ago, that when people stop believing in God, they don't believe in nothing. They will believe in anything. And of course, this isn't just about atheism. It's about fill in the blank, such as neo-paganism, anything derived from Darwinian evolution, for instance. I mean, who knows from where it'll come. But that's all it would take. It's just a little bit of an erosion of the ethic, and all of a sudden, consent can be reconsidered, and taboos can be reconsidered, and we could have a brand new worldview foisted on culture and society at large. And as I was thinking about this and dealing with this, just today I ran across a little clip of this fella. I must admit I don't know who he is. I was watching a video, and it was a Brett Keane video. He had pieced together a lot of clips from atheists, and he included this one without mentioning who this fellow is. But so let's hear him speak for himself, because he really makes the point for me. And you will notice that within his own personal worldview, pedophilia, for example, fits in just perfectly. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it because it's justifiable.
I deny the existence of the Holy Spirit just as much as I deny the existence of anything else that has a 99.999999999 in infinity % chance of not existing. I support you in going out and little children. Try to get the ones with their religious parents. Now, before anyone tries to make a straw man out of me and say that I'm either a pedophile trying to defend himself or someone who was molested by one when I was little trying to rationalize what happened, I am neither. I am merely trying to defend society's most hated and persecuted minority because I believe that they can't help their sexual orientation just like you can't help yours. And I don't believe that pedosexuality necessarily is wrong. Other primates have no sexual boundary when it comes to age and gender. I don't see why we should. In a utopian world with no sexual taboos, having sex with children could become part of their natural upbringing. You know, teaching them how to become good sexual partners. Some of you have said that a child can't fully understand what sex is. I don't see that as a valid argument. As long as the child doesn't mind, it doesn't matter. And the child will understand in time. Some of you have said that having sex with a child might alter its sexual preferences. He or she might become bisexual instead of heterosexual when that person grows up. So, where's the problem in that? I deny the existence of the Holy Spirit just as much as I deny the existence of anything else that has a 99.999999999 in infinity % chance of not existing. I support you in going out and little children. Try to get the ones with their religious parents. Now, before anyone tries to make a straw man out of me and say that I'm either a pedophile trying to defend himself or someone who was molested by one when I was little trying to rationalize what happened, I am neither. I am merely trying to defend society's most hated and persecuted minority because I believe that they can't help their sexual orientation just like you can't help yours. And I don't believe that pedosexuality necessarily is wrong. Other primates have no sexual boundary when it comes to age and gender. I don't see why we should. In a utopian world with no sexual taboos, having sex with children could become part of their natural upbringing. You know, teaching them how to become good sexual partners. Some of you have said that a child can't fully understand what sex is. I don't see that as a valid argument. As long as the child doesn't mind, it doesn't matter. And the child will understand in time. Some of you have said that having sex with a child might alter its sexual preferences. He or she might become bisexual instead of heterosexual when that person grows up. So, where's the problem in that?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No. Nope. Nope. Not gonna happen. Not. Hey, big guy. No, it's not happening. No.
Can be made to enjoy a state of affairs which, by any decent standard, they ought not to enjoy.
Mandy, I'm getting presents in the New World Order! Mrs. Claus said so! Are we creating a new world order?
Does anybody want to talk about the New World Order? Is there a New World Order out there, or is this a vision that exists in the... He does have his vision, there's no doubt about that. But does that exist in the president's mind, or does it exist out there in reality?
This president sees this episode as the first test case, as the first example for the New World Order he is trying to organize.
Some people have called it the New World Disorder, and there's a lot of truth to that.
You will always have a special place in my heart and in the New World Order.
That the United Nations already has the world split up into 10 geographic locations in preparation for this New World Order. Novus Ordo Seclorum is coming.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
We needed a new world order, and instead it looks like we got a lot of disorder.
I think a new world order is emerging, and with it the foundations of a new and progressive era of international cooperation.
We have many enemies. Mankind cannot comprehend the new world order.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order, because the global order is changing again.
Supreme magical ruler of the universe! New world order! New world order!
And together they helped to create, were the principal leaders in creating, a new world order and a winning strategy in the Cold War.
Dead in his world, dead with him, and a new world beginning.
We are part of a new world order. And as the recently departed Admiral William J. Crowe once said, it's long on new, and it's short on order.
If we are living in a new world order,
the destiny of the new world order will be fulfilled.
Always remember that demons are merely a manifestation of the future of our race.
This isn't what it looks
We are
like.
all inherently
Good,
divine.
it looks like you're making out with my boyfriend. This isn't Bobby.
In this
he
fashion,
just looks like
we
Bobby.
shall create
He
gods
said he's like
in
these
our
new
own
Skittles
image.
riddles.
We
The
are
colors
the
on the
creators.
outside don't
We are
match
the
the
creators.
flavors on the inside.
Walter Isaacson
Like
wrote a
this
wonderful
one,
book
it's
about some of the
green,
wise
but
men
really
who helped shape the New World Order following the Second World War.
And a new life for mankind.
As we devise a way forward in Iraq, I urge the international community to embrace its responsibility for creating that new world order. A new world order based upon collective action.
The transatlantic partnership was never just the foundation of our security. It was the foundation of our way of life. It was forged an experience of the most bitter and anguished kind. Out of it came a new Europe, a new world order, a new consensus as to how life should and could be lived.
And just like that, it was gone. It was a new world order. That's what President George H. Bush said. Harvard historian Francis Fukuyama pronounced the end of history.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind.
No longer will I tolerate their insolence. No longer will I allow these inferior species to plague us. They must be stopped. They will be stopped. Am I understood? Am I understood?
Yes, Your Highness.
Far be it for me to question you, Your Highness, but might not the New World Order be better served by approaching the humans with a more benevolent hand?
This, I think, was a great ethics seminar. She has given us a lot of wonderful things to think about. Right, what is wrong, who's to say, really, in the end? I mean, because it is unknowable.